Hello, everyone. This is Victoria Mattia, and you are watching the Mom Care Coach. I hope you can hear me. I do have a little bit of background noise, my air conditioner. So I hope that you're having a great day. Today is Monday Mindset Moments. And the reason why we want to look at mindset in the way of moments is because when we look back on our life, on a particular experience or a particular situation or something even really exciting or fun, it's a moment that is captured in our mind. And so when we're thinking about our mindset, we want to look at it from the viewpoint of this spectacular thing of a moment. Okay. So we're here at the Mom Care Coach. We are all about focusing on self-care from the lens of focusing on our four intentional needs, which is the foundation really of any self-care program, which would be nutrition, mindset, movement, and sleep, those four things. But that's just the foundation. That's not everything, really. That foundation is the first four core essentials that I teach in my program. And there are three more. So it's really important to focus on that foundation, but also we understand we want to have authentic connections. We want to have anchored quiet. We want to have sacred schedules. We want to focus on these other things as well, but we need to focus on the foundation first. So for today's Monday Mindset Moment, I want to talk about how we can flip things around. And actually, as we're talking, I am going to be taking the day off. It's the evening where I'm at, and I'm going to be taking the day off um, from the day using my favorite skincare. This is my favorite skincare. It is um, by a company called Arbonne. I do I do represent their brand. I love their skincare. It is separate from the Mom Care Coach, but it is my favorite skincare. And just a little side note, the reason why it's my favorite skincare is because I have tried almost everything. Um, if you don't know, I used to work overseas. I've been all over the world. I've been to over 30 different countries. And I remember when I lived in Hong Kong, I used to go to a medical spa there for my skin um, because I was always looking for the best products. And it was a pretty cool spa, and they had a pretty cool price in the way of really good products. I would spend like for one treatment, it was like $500, and I would get treatments every week. And when I found this brand, then I was able to actually start using, repurpose that money with a fraction of the price and still get the results that I love. So anyway, when we talk about, you know, your moments of the day and you are wanting to, this is the toner. I just use the balm. You're wanting to take a spin on different um, experiences or situations or different things that maybe didn't go as well as you wanted. So I remember years ago, I was driving, I had my littles in the back, and we were leaving. I was going to get a new car, and we were leaving the car dealership. And I was pulling out, and there was a woman in front of me. I saw her, but I guess she didn't think I was going fast enough with my children in the back, and there was cars all around. You know how a car dealership is pretty crowded. There's like cars everywhere, right? And she honked at me and she said something, I don't know, but it really shook me up because I remember thinking, I just don't interact with people that way. I, you know, I am kind, I'm respectful, I have integrity. I'm not like speaking to anybody that way. They're not speaking to me that way. I don't have those kind of people in my life. If someone comes at me that way, then we aren't friends for very long because that's not appropriate. And I just remember feeling very uncomfortable and leaving the dealership and kept going because she pulled around. She said something. I don't even know what she said, but it didn't sound like it was going to be very nice. And I left. And after I left, I felt very uncomfortable. I felt like I wasn't sure like why that happened. Like why would anyone be rude? But sometimes people are. And so I had to flip it. So what I did was I went home and I was like, okay, this is really frustrating. Help me, God, to settle myself, settle my heart, settle my mind, and focus on the good. So, what's good? Well, we're all safe. Nothing happened. Um, I'm gonna buy a new car. I am, you know, so happy. Everything's okay. Um, and and then I wanted to think about like what kinds of things do I like to feel? I like to feel happy. I like to feel peace. I like to feel settled, safe, understood. And I think that in that moment, I didn't feel understood and I didn't feel safe and I didn't feel like I had really an opportunity to respond really with anything. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to get out of my car and say anything. Obviously, I'm not going to pull down my window and say anything. I just smiled at her. Okay, have a great day, and kind of just left. And in that situation, that's really all you can do. But then you need to sit with your own feelings. Why did I get like offended or uncomfortable? Why? Well, because this woman didn't act in a way that was becoming to act towards another human being. But it also kind of shook me up. And so for me, I had to sit with it and be like, okay, I am safe. Everybody's fine. Um, maybe she was having a hard day. And at the same time, I'm proud of myself. I handled it well. I smiled at her. I was polite. I went on with my business and kept going. And that is how sometimes things are. What we don't want to do is what's the phrase, get out of pocket or like meaning like act in a way that's unbecoming to you. I did not do that. And I'm glad. I don't usually do that. That isn't something that's a part of my character. But what is a part of my character is that sometimes I will sit back and reflect on things and kind of ruminate on how I could do something differently. And I think that that's not necessarily a great thing. So I think three tips that I would take away if you are having a moment and you are feeling frustrated or misunderstood or like um, where you feel like offended in some way, first of all, think about number one, are you safe? If you're not safe, then that's a different thing. Like if you're not safe, then you do need to seek like you need to talk to, an officer or something like that. But if you're safe, then that's number one. If you're safe, that's awesome. Number two, when you feel offended or overwhelmed or like misunderstood, then you can journal about it and figure out have there been times in the past where you felt that way and how did you handle it? And how would you like to feel in that situation? Like I said, I like to feel happy. I like to feel peaceful. I like to feel understood. I like to feel um, um, safe. All the things. I'm sure there's lots of things I'm missing, but you probably have a list yourself. Those are the things you're wanting to focus on. And of those things, so how do you want to feel? Of those things, are you able to feel that in the situation? Do you have those kinds of feelings right now in your life? How can we turn that around and look at the good? So that's what I did. I said, okay, well, I am safe. I am at peace. I kept my composure and kept driving on, right? And I think number three is that journaling component. When you are able to journal, you can journal out your feelings, you can journal like how you like to do something differently, or what are the things that you're proud of yourself about how you handle that situation. We're always wanting to look for the good, look for how we can give ourselves a pat on the back. We, as autism moms, are sometimes so harsh on ourselves. We are not as hard on anybody else as often we are on ourselves. I don't know what's going on with the light, so sorry about that. But we're often, we feel that way. And so we have to make sure that we are able to look at things appropriately and understand sometimes people will act certain ways and there's nothing we can do about it, but we can always focus on ourselves and do those two things that I always talk about. Focus on our attitude and our actions. Remember, we are the thermostat, and especially in our households and our children, they take how to react from us. So I hope that this was a little bit helpful when you're thinking about when different situations go awry in your life. Also, if you'd like to know more about my skincare, because I'm still, even after all these years, still pleased with the results. I will be 50 in like 6 months, and I'm really happy with the way my skin looks and how it feels. And it's something really special, like when you're able to, you can't always control everything in your life. And as an autism parent, you can't control your children, you can't control so many different situations, but you can control yourself. You can control our four intentional needs: how we sleep, there's things that we can do to make it better. Mindset, movement, and nutrition. We can control those things, and those things are beautiful. And we can control our skincare as well. So I hope you have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye.